Hi everyone, I'm here today to introduce our Global Reach project. First of all, our team consists of Zoe, Nick, Katie, and myself. And just to give some background on Nigeria, we found that its literacy rate of 61%, their cell phone ownership rate is actually one of the highest in the world at 75%, and over 101 million people are using mobile wallet, which lets people use their cell phones as bank accounts because there's actually a lot of unbanked people in Nigeria who keep their money in cash. So this gives them an alternative solution.
Our proposed solution is an information system comprised of a decision support system for identifying future issues, a crowdsourcing platform for alerts and connecting families, an internet backbone to improve connectivity and ensure access, and cloud backup to ensure no loss of data. In order to better address and anticipate the problems associated with flooding in Nigeria, our team developed two key strategies and systems. First of all, we need a system to identify the area of the Niger Delta most affected by an impending flood. Then, we need to find a way to contact and warn those affected by the flood in order to disseminate emergency protocols. In order to better anticipate future flooding problems, Nigeria can use existing satellites to source environmental data that can be put into a DSS, a decision support system, that can predict water flow, speed, risk areas, and elevations for areas affected by flooding. The decision support system works by first gathering geothermal imaging data, then inputting the data into simulation models. These models can be built off of existing knowledge of Nigeria's landscape and climate. Using the output from the simulations, Nigeria can then use a decision model to identify the areas in the Niger Delta which will be most affected by the impending flood. Existing decision support systems in Europe and North America, such as Colorado, have already been used. This example of the Colorado River Decision Support System shows how the system can visually capture the information about areas affected by flooding. Once we have identified areas most affected, we can then work on an alert system through which to contact those living in the disaster zone. By using an alert text system, Nigeria can connect with the towers located in the areas affected to quickly contact the population and send instructions for emergency protocol. The internet backbone discussed further in the presentation, combined with rapid cell technology, will improve connectivity to ensure a viable cellular network for the SMS alert system to distribute through. The rapid cell product converts the wireless connection provided by the fiber optic cable into a cellular connection, solving the issue of low connectivity and spotty cellular reception. This way, the Nigerian government and the crisis response team can ensure that they are connecting with the citizens in areas most affected by flooding.
Thank you, Katie. And now I'll be talking a little bit about our response. So what can we do? Well, first of all, to address the logistical and crime questions, we recognize that everyone in Nigeria has a device that they can use to not only get help for logistical stuff, but also to capture crime. First, logistically, because they have cell phones, their cell phone companies can triangulate people's locations and therefore send directed messages and phone calls to people in need. This is really important because not everyone in Nigeria knows how to read and write text messages, so by having automated robotic phone calls, they can really direct people to where they need to go most in terms of shelters and other help and aid that can be provided. Next, for the crime portion, we recognize that looting and other crimes are always going to be a concern. And one of the things that Nigeria really has going for it is that they are a community based society, so they care a lot about each other and they have a sense of community. So, in order to combat the opportunistic few, what we suggest and propose is have people take pictures and videos of crimes as they happen so that the looters can be prosecuted later on once the disaster is over and once everyone is safe and secure. Next, for information, recognize that there is often a lot of influx of aid to people, but the challenge is that not everyone gets all the information that they need in order to make an informed choice. So again, because a lot of people have cell phones in Nigeria, we're going to make it the tool by which we can really inform people. So again, by triangulating the location, we can also track the last time a cell phone was used to place a call or access the mobile data tower in order to triangulate which area still has people, perhaps trapped under the rocks, or people who were washed away and are trapped in the houses. That way, rescue workers can specifically target those locations. Next, I'm going to talk about the support portion. So first, a lot of people in Nigeria are unbanked and either keep their money in cash, or what's been growing and what should be supported further is that a lot of mobile carriers are allowing people to use cell phones as a mobile wallet option. The most popular option right now in Nigeria is called First Money, and specifically it allows people to transfer money simply with their cell phone number without needing any equipment other than a basic cell phone, not even a smartphone. Next, we recognize that there's going to be an output. Next, we recognize that there's going to be an outpouring of support from the international community. So what will be really helpful is people can go on phone lines and other people can dial in order to go and get information about where loved ones are, so that they have a central location from which they can really go and tap into more information that they need. For example, if the flooding is located directly within Nigeria, all of the other people in the continent of Africa can help translate and really be a repository where people can access, because again, not everyone in the country speaks and writes the language. Finally, in terms of resource allocation, countries want to make sure that their aid is actually getting there. So we recognize that there's a lot of graft and political corruption. So what countries can do is place mobile trackers directly into aid packages to make sure that their aid is going where it needs to go.
A little closer is probably best. Just don't bump the desk, because then that'll get picked up.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay, I'll just start. To aid in recovery and mitigate future issues, we will propose... I'm starting from here. To aid in recovery and mitigate future issues, we propose installing an internet backbone and rapid cell technology, as well as implementing a mobile donation system. The proposed internet backbone will be designed to survive future floods. We will work with a non-profit organization called NetHope to help build an internet backbone via fiber optic cables that can be used by government agencies and non-profit organizations to help rebuild the areas affected by flooding both now and during any future events. Then, we will use range networks and rapid cell technology to convert the internet connection into a cell connection so that text message alerts can be sent in case of another emergency, and to notify people of places of refuge. The mobile donation system will allow sympathetic donors to text a number with a specific code in order to donate a dollar amount to the cause, which will be run by the program First Money. Once received, these donations will be stored and utilized via this mobile system and will prevent robberies and looting. To protect against reoccurrence, we will utilize an information system, as Katie previously mentioned, to crowdsource information on disasters, provide higher ground maps, weather alerts, and etc. We suggest the Nigerian government utilize a cloud backup system to ensure that information can be accessed in any situation and at any location in case of future disasters.
In our solution, floods and other natural disasters can be predicted well in advance with dedicated computer systems, utilizing freely available storm information. Then, our solution has the ability to alert affected areas in advance through the internet or through cellular-based platforms. Despite growing cellular subscriber rates in Nigeria, the internet and cellular infrastructure in some regions, particularly the Niger Delta, is extremely deficient. Our solution is viable as it uses common and relatively inexpensive technologies to extend an internet connection to these areas, which in turn can be transformed into a cellular connection. In addition to connecting more subscribers to the network, more people will be able to receive warning of an emergency situation either through the internet or via mobile emergency alert systems. During a disaster, displaced Nigerians can use the extended cellular coverage outlined in our solution to remain connected to important updates, as well as provide reports, use mobile wallet applications, and perform all of the other tasks that have caused them to become so dependent on mobile phones. Worldwide support organizations can also use this connection to distribute information and need-based aid. In addition to a larger service area, our solution allows for a redundant backup of these communication systems should the system experience a fault. After a natural disaster, Nigerians can use their mobile phones to connect to psychological counseling services and continue to receive financial support.